By name called Emmanuel, Excellence Barrister South Sudan. I'm going to be a judge in today's debate. As the motion reads, that it is a belief that all of us here believe that social media platforms should be held legally responsible for the hate speech and misinformation shared on their platforms. So it is a belief. So we are going to hear from the two sides or from the two schools. The first audio from the proposition side, that is Honorable Alexandrina Michael. You're welcome.
Social media is an investment. Allow me to recognize the presence of the moderator, the chair, the secretary, the judges, the antagonists, the heroes and the heroines, not forgetting you, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Here before you is a publicized one, the future speaker of the parliament, none other than Alexandrina Michael, with confidence here to propose the motion that reads. This House believes that social media platforms should be held legally responsible for hate speech and misinformation shared on their platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go further, allow me to introduce my colleagues. We have the second main speaker, who is Stephen Emmanuel, who will be basing his point of argument and negative thinking of freedom of speech. Not just that, but we also have the last speaker from our side, Nyamet Aban, who will be basing her point of argument under physiological effects and catfishing, that is to say hacking. Not forgetting the person standing in front of you, I'll be talking about global impact. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the motion of today is trying to tell us that social media should be really legally responsible for all the negative effects that it's putting all the people through. Dear distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to tell you that these social media platforms, they are responsible to all the contents that are posted on social media. They are supposed to control, they are supposed to manage, they are supposed to monitor all the contents that are posted on this social media. Now, if such contents like the hate speech and misinformation are posted, what are they doing? They're doing nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, to go on with my point, allow me to talk of the global impact. Now, simply this global impact simply means that the negative effects of this social, this hate speech and misinformation on social media, all the world, worldwide. So, ladies and gentlemen, by putting the social media platforms responsible for this, it promotes peace and stability in the country. To keep the water boiling, allow me to talk of hate speech, whereby this famous musician, whereby we all know, ladies and gentlemen, Mary Boy and Lady Kola. It says that Mary Boy will not share stage with Lady Kola, threatens to boycott K2's show in a week if Lady Kola is performing the same event. Now, I'd like to earn this evidence through the table of the panel of the judges, the moderator, and back to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. To continue also, ladies and gentlemen, we have this kind of pictures of the president where they wrote that the president, where is my chair? And this, as you can see, all this is his vice, where that I don't know president, but maybe someone took it and he hit the chair. Now, such kind of these things that social media are allowing them to be posted. Allow me to hand this through the table of the judge, the moderator, and back to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Such kind of things will not allow peace in the country. There will be a lot of conflicts among these two leaders. Now, if we don't put this social media responsible for such legal acts, who are we to blame? Us? No. because social media, they are the one to control it, to manage it, to monitor. Because without them, such kind of things like misinformation and hate speech would not be there. I hand this point to the table of the moderator, the adjudicators, and back to you, distinguished guests. Members of the August House, allow me to summarize my point. I have talked of the global impact. And in conclusion, I would like to tell you that I will stand firm in supporting this motion that says, this House believes that social media should be legally responsible for all the hate speech and misinformation posted on the social media. Please, I would like to call on the opponents to come and support me with this motion, because let me tell you, hate speech and misinformation is actually against the laws of the God, which there will be judgment later on. And to tell you that judgment is going to come, in order for you not to regret later, please come and join me to support this motion. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, well, dear ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, I would like to salute the table of the moderator, the judges, the timekeeper, and the two antagonistic parts who are fighting for their mentorship, not forgetting you, the distinguished guests of today. Good morning. Well, my name is Adil Majoblem. Of course, I'm a student of Elite High School Senior 1, as well as the first negator of tonight's controversial. I am not alone, but with the team of Akid Enyak as the second speaker and Maxwell Jem as the third speaker. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, the heart of the matter that brings us here today is to discuss whether each social media platform should be held responsible for the hate speech and misinformation shared on their platforms. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, to make you understand more, let me redefine the resolution, since the first Obama failed to define the resolution to our satisfaction, and for that I will define it as a whole. Yeah, dear ladies and gentlemen, the motion simply means that if a user posts a content that incites violence, promotes discrimination, or spreads false information, the platforms are to be held accountable and face legal consequences. But dear ladies and gentlemen, the goal of the motion is to increase responsibility and accountability among social media platforms for the content they host, ultimately aiming to reduce the spread of harming spreads and misinformation online. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, the first Afama came here and she failed to provide a burden. And for that, as the first speaker from the negating side, I would dive in and provide a burden to the team Afama, since she failed to provide a burden. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, if they strongly affirm the resolution, that they would have a burden to tell us if social medias operate themselves when it's not individuals that operate them. They would also have to tell us if hate speech and misinformation are in the aims of social media platforms. And for that, dear ladies and gentlemen, they would have that burden to prove. To evaluate the motion, my dear judges and members in the August House, we do understand that negating the resolution is the best, because social medias do not operate themselves. We understand that it's individuals that operate them. There's no way that social media would be created and then it operates itself like that. That one has never happened and it won't happen. It's impossible. So for that case, dear ladies and gentlemen, social media does not operate itself alone. It's an interest of an individual. If I, as an individual, is interested to maybe post something, I will just decide, I want to go online today. Let me just post the false information about English High School. And I just post that information. But let me just ask, is it me that should be blamed on the platform? These platforms were created for specific aims. And my second speaker would speak of that one. I wouldn't like to dive in. She would tell you more about it. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, first allow me to put more effort into the work of the first Obama. She came here and talked about global impact, being a peace, promoting peace and stability. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, if I'm to think of relating it to the motion, then it doesn't match to the motion in any way. Now, take a look at peace and stability. Is social media something that is getting into people's life and telling them, please be hate hate each other, fight every day. Social media does not do that. Social media just wants us to be united. That's why it comes in by connecting people here, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't come in telling us that fighting should be promoted or anything of that sort that includes hatred. No, that one does not happen. Social media doesn't have an impact that it brings about hatred. Social media is an app. It's something that is a platform. It includes Facebook, Messenger, and other things. Social media is not a human being and it doesn't talk to people, so you can't tell us that if the platforms are blamed, peace and stability will be around. Trust me, that is a very wrong point. She also told us, she also provided an evidence of a cartoon telling us that is the president that was posted. Yes, we are humans and we also have to joke. You understand that when you are a human being, you would have to crack jokes in order to pass your time. Now, dear ladies and gentlemen, those are not that is not our president. It's not any president of another country. That is a cartoon. If you take a look at the picture, it's a cartoon. It's not a human being. So how can you tell us that we have posted the president and maybe we have told hate speech about the president, but that is not his real image. To dive into my views of argument here, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk of connectivity. Dear ladies and gentlemen, connectivity is a state of being connected to people that you were never supposed to be connected to. Social media promotes that one, dear ladies and gentlemen. I, as an individual here, have other friends in other countries like South Africa. And it is social media that connected me to those countries. It wasn't connected by just seeing them face to face. It was social media. Now, blaming them legally responsible for the hate speech and whatever, that one does not make any sense because it's individuals that have the problem. It's not social media. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, I hand over my first bill to the table of the moderator, the secretary, the table of the moderator, by the judges, and back to the audience. Well, to continue, I would like to talk of illiteracy. Well, my lower judges and members in the August House, we do understand that it's not everyone that has a knowledge about maybe operating social media. It's not everyone. If you are to sit down and understand it, there are illiterate people that do not know what they're doing. They just want to dive in and maybe put some things that do not even matter. These people can be educated. I blame the government. I personally blame the government because we are not educated. If we were educated on how to use stuff like this, then trust me, there wouldn't have been anything such as illiteracy. And if there was no illiteracy, there wouldn't have been such things as such things as hate speech and misinformation. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, here's an evidence that says the population is using social media platforms include individuals who engage in hate speech, street information and hatred, and others online. They should be educated on consequences of their actions and impact that they have on other and importance of respecting opinions and perspectives. This education can be provided through awareness campaigns, platforms, and policies for users training. I hand over my view to the table of the judges. My evidence, I mean. Yeah, well, dear ladies and gentlemen, my second speaker, who's none other than a kid in here, could be talking of content moderation challenges, individual responsibilities, whereas my last speaker, who's none other than Maxwell here, would come and revive and provide declarations that were not declared by the team of farmers, as well as providing solutions to the problems that might have been stated. Yeah, dear ladies and gentlemen, with all this, I reiterate. Oh, and dear ladies and gentlemen, sorry for forgetting. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I talked of illiteracy and connectivity. In conclusion, dear ladies and gentlemen, we can't always sit on one side. We can't always make mistakes and we expect others to be blamed. Things are invented for particular reasons. They are not just invented to waste time. No, everything has a use in this world, and if it has a use, when you misuse it as an individual, you don't have to blame the person that created it because it's not the person that is again giving you the ideas. It's your brain, your mental brain that is giving you the ideas. Now, if you are to understand this one, ladies and gentlemen, we can't blame the platform. We are to blame ourselves as individuals because at some point you can't just take your responsibility. Any crime that you have committed, you want to put it to another person's head. No, that cannot happen. Dear ladies and gentlemen, with all this, I beg to raise my case. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished panel of judges, honorable guests, and fellow participants. It's an honor for me to stand here before you today and engage in this stimulating debate. Greetings to the table of Mr. Honorable Chairperson, Secretary, Time Manager, ladies and gentlemen, guests, and bodies under all positions. Here before you is Namit Abang from Sacred Heart Secondary School Senior 2, here to affirm that the social media platforms are responsible for the hate speech and misinformation shared on their platforms. I am going to base my points of argument on the misinformation itself. Misinformation simply is the false or inaccurate information shared. Under misinformation, allow me to talk about psychological effects. As one of the members earlier said that we youth are emotionally unstable. Cyberbullying can affect us in many aspects and many ways. Cyberbullying is whereby youth, us teenagers, use the platforms or social medias like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Messenger in order to abuse other people who are weaker than us. For example, those weak parts or those weak people that we are abusing, those bullies are abusing, they can go through many bad things, or like anxiety. They can go also through depression, lack of confidence, which endly may lead them to suicide. Like what happened in October 14th in 2019, whereby a student whom is 15 years old committed suicide by hanging herself at the house. She was bullied. Then she went up through all those bad stages, depression, lack of confidence, anxiety, she was lack of sleep and all this. She hanged herself due to this. All of this came by the bullying, cyberbullying, which is held by the platforms. So I'm saying that those platforms, those managers of the platform, they must to manage, moderate, and must to review everything or all posts before being published. Also, there are, in South Sudan here, there are rules that regulate all the posts, all the things that must be published. Chapter 1011, Article 26, that says that all the platforms and all the posts that share on the platform must be reviewed, and everyone who does not respect those rules must be imprisoned. This is. Allow me also to I pass this one to the table, through the table of Mr. Chairperson, back to you, my distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Allow me also to talk about catfishing or hacking. Catfishing, whereby a normal person, use social media, make him or her an account by a name which is not his or her, a fake name, and a fake everything. They start to go to other accounts, go to people, they'll be like, we are in need of something. Those people will directly go and start giving them those things that they want, without knowing whom are they, without knowing their real identity. I pass this point to the table of Mr. Honorable Chairperson, and back to you, my distinguished ladies and dear gentlemen.
Excuse, you have a point of information, is it allowed?
It's allowed.
Yes, Speaker. You talked about. You actually talked about people, the post that a girl was bullied, right? Don't you think that it was the individual that went to her and it was not the social media? Can you please tell us how the social media intervened in all of this?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, Honorable Speaker, this here, it's trying to tell you that social media, before any content to be released out, social media has to control it, has to manage it, has to monitor. Now, if social media allows such kind of information, such kind of, hate speech and all that to be released out and to embarrass that other person, who will be responsible? Obviously, social media platforms, because without their allowance, they have to allow it first. They have to make, if the information is not good to the society, they have to block it. If it's good, then they allow it. But if it's not, they should not. Okay.
Here are also some evidence for an actress. She's a K-pop one. She committed suicide because she was bullied. You can see her pictures before and after. You can see the difference. She was suffering from depression, anxiety, and other things, which led her to commit suicide. You can see the difference between before and after her being
Well, dear speaker, you spoke of people using fake names on social media, but if I may ask, it's people, you do understand that it's people, but again you are saying we should blame social media. Can you please engage and tell me what you mean?
Yes, of course you shall blame the social media, because the social media are the ones who are allowing those people to start cash fishing and hacking people. They're also giving them they're also allowing them and giving them the approval. They are even not monitoring themselves by going and monitoring those things. They must monitor those things. I handle my evidence to the table of Honorable Chairperson, and back to you, my distinguished ladies and gentlemen. In summary, I talked of misinformation. Misinformation simply, as I said, is the false or inaccurate information. Under it, I talked of catfishing or hacking. In conclusion, I would like to say, I am sure that most of you here are parents. You parents, are supposed to monitor also if you have teenagers at home, because we will be affected, since we teenagers form 2.1 billion of the population of the earth. We need to be monitored, we need to be guarded, we need to be regulated in order for us to, since we are the generation, we need to have a better generation. Thank you for listening.
Well, dear August House, who do we blame for the hate speech and misinformation, and how do we eradicate them on social media platforms? I acknowledge the presence of the moderator, the judges, the timekeeper, and you, my audience. I am Akil Denyake, senior one student from Elite High School, as well as the second farmer of tonight's debate, under the resolution that says that this House believes that social media platforms should be held legally responsible for hate speech and misinformation shared in their platforms. But allow me first shed some light on allow me first challenge the point of my opponent. If you are to listen to what she said critically, she has been talking about individuals and individuals, but they did not clarify to us how social media is intervening in this. Dear ladies and gentlemen, when two elephants are fighting, they crash shepherd. These individuals are misusing the aims for the social media. You can tell me that it is hate speech and misinformation. For your information, let me tell you that hate speech and misinformation can also be brought about, but it cannot be on social media. Are you aware of that? You might be. Allow me, the question that should be born in your minds right now, dear ladies and gentlemen, is who should be held responsible for hate speech and misinformation? We, the negators, are saying is the government. Why do we blame the government for not imposing laws to regulate and give limitations to social media platforms? And also individuals, as I stated before, for misusing social media platforms. Every organization or anything has to start with the aims. And you should understand here that the social media also have their aims, of which hate speech and misinformation are not part of them. But it is the individuals themselves who bring it. However much the social media platforms give us the liberty to share, it doesn't encourage us to share hate and misinformation, but tells us to share our life experiences and hoping to promote connectivity, communication, and networking as so aims. For more understanding, dear ladies and gentlemen, allow me dive into my point of argument where I will talk of content moderation challenges. The team and farmers here are always saying that if there is a hate speech, the social media should be able to pull it back, like to block and all those. But let me tell you, the social media platform hosts billions of posts daily, making it practically impossible to moderate every piece of content in real time. Holding them legally responsible for hate speech and misinformation will place an unreasonable burden on platforms to monitor and remove such content. I have an evidence here that says that according to a report by the Pew Research Center, as of January 2021, Facebook alone had over 1.5 billion monthly active users. And if you are to see this is a large number of people. Now how can we follow this one platform one at a time? That will also be time conscious. It will waste our time. So the individuals here are to be blamed and not the social media platform. I hand over this point to the point.
You have a point of information, is it that?
Yeah, let me first conclude this. I hand this point over to the high table of the moderator, rather than the judges, and back to you, the audience. I will take your pick.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, I would like to challenge you by asking this question, okay? Imagine you are a scientist and you invented or you created a robot, and that robot started having technical errors and it started destroying houses, killing people, destroying a lot of places. Now, people are suffering. Who will you blame? Will you blame the robot? Or you will blame the people who are suffering, dying? Is it not that you blame the person who created that robot? Now the person who created that robot is the social media. And that robot is actually the content that are released, that the social media are allowing it to be released out. Okay, I have this point of challenge through the table of the moderator, the adjudicator, and back to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we should try and understand this, that if an innovation has been made, a new thing has been brought out, we need to first sample it in order for it to not to bring such problems. So you bringing a scientist here, it doesn't make sense, because we know all scientists, we do this practical and make sure they are effectively handling themselves before we could release it. So I don't think that is okay. Secondly, allow me to talk of individual responsibility. In the context of social media platforms, it refers to obligations and expectation placed on users to contribute a positive and constructive online environment, of which I will talk of ethical conduct. Dear ladies and gentlemen, if I talk of ethical conduct, this is a way of abstaining from every point of ethnicity, tribalism, and conflict. And if you as an individual is to stay away from those things, do you think we will bring about anything as hand speech and misinformation? Of course not. And here we should not blame the social media, and if the farmers are saying they should clarify it in bold letters. And also critical thinking. Imagine that you are in the position of that person. Will you be able to do the same thing you want? Imagine you are being the one to defend. You will not even think of doing such thing. So social media is not to be blamed here, but the individual. In summary, I talked of content moderation challenges and individual responsibilities. In conclusion, dear ladies and gentlemen, blaming social media platforms for hate speech and misinformation overlooks the responsibility of individuals to engage critically with content and hold themselves accountable for their actions. With all this, dear ladies and gentlemen, I beg to rest my case, and thanks.
I recognize the presence of the moderator, the secretaries, the judges, the time manager, the organizers of this educative program, all the staffs of different institutes around. Good morning to you all. Standing before you is none other than Stephen Emmanuel, and I'm here to support the motion that states that social media platforms should be held responsible for the hate speech and misinformation shared on their platforms, because most of the opposition side, they are not understanding. We are not saying that they are the one making those videos, they are the one making those misinformation. We are saying that they are spreading this information and also the videos worldwide that is now giving the person that you're talking about to have like miscarriage. The person even won't feel like is a person in the world now, because everyone will be laughing at you, everyone will be talking about you, because the social media platform that is being innovated is spreading the information worldwide to other people that even don't even want to know about such information. But now the social media is now spreading the information worldwide. Now imagine now I have here a quarrel with maybe one opposition side here, and now someone takes the video, posts it on TikTok, it will go to other continents like the Europe, Asia, and those people are not concerned about such videos. But now the social media is sending it to them, and now to make the person here to feel not even is not a person anymore in the world, that is now resulting in the person to maybe attempting to kill him or herself, and also isolating him or herself from the community because of this social media here. The social media is spreading this information worldwide, and we don't want personal issues to be spread worldwide. Our secrets are being spread worldwide to the other worlds, and yet we want our secrets to remain in South Sudan. We want our secrets to remain in our family. We want our secrets to remain in the community. We don't want it to be known by other people in the world, yet we want it to remain within us. So the social media is now spreading it to other people, which is not even their concern. So that's why we are saying that social media should be held responsible for this misinformation and also the hate speech. So I handle this point through the table of the moderator, the judges, and back to you, my dear audience. And also, I would like also to challenge one of the opposition sides to say that illiteracy is a problem. So now, illiteracy, I think you do not understand P2, maybe you do not go to P1 or P2, but I don't know. It's because if you say that now illiteracy is when a person knows how to read and write. Although I know how to read and write, I'm already an uneducated person. You don't need to have degree, what around here, but all you want is you know how to read something and also you know how to write something. That means I'm already educated. I don't need to even again to go back to school because I know already how to read something on the board. It's allowed.
Yes, Speaker, I really appreciate you on what you just said, because you say illiteracy is the point of knowing how to read and to write. But I think you did not understand your rebuttal, because your rebuttal was, I'm not understanding the resolution, but the main thing comes in where you don't understand the resolution. You say illiteracy is the act of not knowing how to read. It's the act of knowing how to read and not knowing how to write. You are already educated because you are illiterate, which means you are illiterate. You just mentioned it yourself that illiteracy is the act of knowing. You should have said literacy, not illiteracy. So thank you for maybe supporting me by saying you are illiterate.
So I think she did not understand, but I said illiteracy. Maybe you not understand, and again, but if I did a mistake, thank you for the correction, and I shall keep on. And also she said that the government should be blamed. Can you blame the government? You should blame them. They are the ones who should, first of all, come and make the laws of guiding such social media platforms. Not just you invent something, just leave it like that. You're supposed to make laws. No thanks. You're supposed to make laws that are supposed to govern such platforms. Because now, you cannot just invent something, you leave it like that. Now, any young kid can come and just use such. Because even me myself, I can go to the TikTok and say, I'm the president of South Sudan. They will believe. Because they think that now, it's now president, it's
point of information allowed.
Speaker, you just spoke of you going to maybe for and saying that you are maybe a president. Well, you need to understand that the fact here is it's you as an individual that went online and posted that particular thing that you are a president. It wasn't social media, remember, that allowed you, that maybe told you to maybe post it. It was your brain.
Excuse me, I know it is my brain, but the social media, why are they believing? They have to invent them to the version that where they understand that I'm not even the president. They are supposed to have the information of how to know if I'm 18 or I'm 15. Because sometimes there are some things that I go and do on these social media platforms. They say that I have to be 18 years, but I put it but when I'm 16, and they are believing it. Because they don't know what they are doing. They are just inventing these things so that they can destroy our world. It is making us hatred to grow in this world of ours.
Yes, Speaker. You talked of secrets of our country going out. Can you give me one secret of South Sudan that has gone out one way?
If you can go to other countries, they will be saying that the South Sudan is always in riots. Am I like there's stealings always happening, gunshots are always happening, and this is not true. They are just saying it that because they don't understand social media. So this social media here, why are they posting things that are not even real? And yet for us South Sudanese, we know that our country every day is developing because we know what is happening. And now the social media is helping those people who are posting such things to go to the worldwide. Why are they doing such? So that's why I'm saying that even in fact, there should be a social media platform. They should all be blocked out of this world of ours and have the world that we had before. And also, back to my point argument today are basing under discrimination and racism. All of you know the meaning of discrimination. Go back to South Africa. South Africa, the British, they made them to go under discrimination. The reason why I chose this point because although this discrimination is over there in South Africa, but we humans, and with the help of social media to spread it worldwide, we are now discriminating people. We are telling people things that are even not theirs. You are being somebody that is a dog. You are telling someone not to participate in something that is not like there. You say that this one is not supposed to be in sports. You don't have what you're weak. You're not supposed to play in sports. You post it. You say that this one is fake. This one is fake. Like these things of every time that Ronaldo and Messi, they are saying that this one is more better. This one is more better. Those things now you're making even the other two to feel like they don't have even supporters because now every time you're saying that this one is better, this one is better. The social media is not helping them now to spread this information worldwide. And then racism. Racism is when one abuses someone's color. Like now, both Africans and the other countries, they are practicing racism, but it is mostly being practiced by these white people. They are abusing our color. Before when they came, they took us as animals, and they are now they are spreading these things to their other countries through social media. They are using social media to spread this information to other countries, and also the other countries they begin. But now,
speaker, you are going now past the time.
They are going now spreading such information, and yet we don't want such information to be spread because we want all of us to be one people. We want to be cooperating with the white people. We want the Africans to be cooperating with the white people. Because of social media, we don't do cooperation with the way we want it. So allow me to briefly say my points that I discussed. I talked about discrimination. I talked about racism. So, thank you very much for listening. Before I go, allow me to advise you parents, because even my own self, I have a mother, I have a father. So don't allow your kids to get spoiled with this social media. TikTok is spoiling us a lot. They are making us to learn more abusive words that we don't want to even learn. And now we are using it to abuse even our own parents, which is not good. So these social media platforms should be stopped in our current generation. We don't want it, and it's
Well, thanks. The salutation of course to the moderator, the team of adjudicator, the timekeeper, the two competing teams, and then the audience at large. I am by the names of Max and Dear Michael. Of course, the third negator of tonight's controversial debate, rooted with the topic of this house believes that social media platforms should be held legally accountable for the hate speech and information shared on their platform. My dear ladies and gentlemen, if we the team negative, they never say that we totally disagree with the motion, but what we disagree with is it being legally. Now, what we have to stabilize our minds and think, we will have one of the two major factors. That is the government and the users who should hold accountable of hate speech and misunderstanding. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the government, for not regulating the social media platforms, will give an alternative hand for the users to do whatever they like. Because let us just take an example of Uganda. The president of Uganda has restricted the app Facebook by imposing taxations. He has imposed taxations in order to reduce the high rate of the jobless users of Facebook. Now, if we are to understand, 90% of these jobless users of Facebook are the ones who are discriminating, and they are the ones who are posting the hate speech and the misinformation on the platforms. Now, this helped the country by reducing the high rate of the jobless people to stop posting these hate speeches and the misinformation. Now, if you have to go to Uganda, when you don't have money, you cannot go online. Now, the secondly, for not awareing and educating the public. If we understand, the government of South Sudan hasn't educated the public on how to use these social media platforms. This will give an upper hand for the users to do whatever they like, because this can be caused with only one thing. As my fellow speaker talked of illiteracy. Now we understand by the term illiteracy. Illiteracy, this is when somebody doesn't have knowledge about anything. My fellow speaker here said, illiteracy, when you know how to read books, when you know how to write, that's what we call illiteracy. But no, that's not illiteracy. When you don't have an idea of anything. Now, to use these social media platforms, it needs the educating of the public. Now, I'll provide the solutions towards the end of my conversation. Now, the second people who should hold these
hate speech and misinformation of the users. For misusing the social media platform, because of illiteracy, they're illiterate. They don't know how to use this media, the social media platforms such as Facebook, posting hate speeches and misinformation. Dear ladies and gentlemen, before I dive into my content, allow me to do some retouch to the points that we stated the team are negative. Now, the individual responsibility. If we understand in every situation, an individual has a responsibility to play or a role to play. In this situation, the individuals have to play by being aware of the content and they should consume and share. Now, if you are to take an example, an individual comes and finds a conflict that has already occurred, that individual must be aware of that content that she or he will consume and share it to the public. Now, this will make the individuals to be mindful of their content they consume and share on the social media platforms. They should also avoid the spreading of false information, hate speech, or other harmful content. Secondly, reporting inappropriate content. Now, when the individual is reporting inappropriate content, this will allow the users of Facebook to misquote that content he or she has just shared on the post on the social media platform. This makes an upper hand that social media platforms should not hold the responsibility of hate speech and misinformation. Dear ladies and gentlemen, because as the third speaker, it is my role to play by rebattling and challenging the team opponents here. Dear ladies and gentlemen, my fellow second speaker talked of psychological affects. We have to understand psychological affects. She went on and gave an example of a girl who hanged herself to death. But this was not the problem of social media platforms. Now this is where the government regulation comes in. When the social media platform is not regulated to allow such hate speeches and misinformation, this will allow the social media platform. Let me just give you an example. A social media platform is like a slave. Once you tell the slave to do something, it will do it definitely. That's what a social media platform is. When you do not regulate the social media platform on misusing the hate speeches and the misinformation, it will definitely occur and post the misinformation and the hate speeches. My warning bell is not yet. Now, secondly, I have tell you that the social media platforms are like slaves. Then, thirdly, once this, yeah, it's allowed.
My dear opponent, you just said that social medias are not responsible for all those posts that are emissions or those are published in their platforms. Yes, they are, because there are rules and regulations that regulate all those platforms from publishing and posting such things.
Now understand, I told you that when the government has regulated the social media platform, this social media platform will not allow the misuse of the misinformation and then the hate speech. What you have to understand, the country South Sudan, the government hasn't yet regulated the social media platforms, so which is allowing an upper hand for the user to just post any hate speech.
Is it allowed?
Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, you were just saying that there are no laws. Let me read for you people the laws of this, the social media authority. First of all, this hate speech and intimacy of violence, it says here that from the Article 29, it says, it shall be an offense to publish, broadcast, or otherwise disseminate a statement that threatens, insults, ridicule, or otherwise abuse a person or a group with their language. Now, let me tell you that the penalties for all such kind of hate speech and all that, they have the requirement to publish a broadcast, a correction is to apologize. Now, let me ask you this question. There are these hate speech that are going among these social media celebrities, like Nicola and Mary Boy. They are insulting each other. Are they doing penalty? No, they are not doing penalty. They are not following the rules and regulations that they did. I have this point of challenge to the moderator. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for not giving you the answer because I'm out of time. To tell you the reason as to why we, the team negative, win tonight's debate. Because the team affirmative talked of global impact, where my first speaker talked about limitation on users. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we stated kids clearly that limitation on users can be caused maybe with hate speeches and misinformation. Let us just take an example of elite high school page. When the elite high school page is restricted, it will give us the limitation of the users. Then secondly, the second speaker talks psychological effects. Then my second speaker talked of individual's responsibility. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I stated it clear to you that in every situation, an individual has the responsibility to play or a role to play, giving us an upper hand to win tonight's debate. That's the point of clash that we win tonight's debate is accountability. The team negative here never stated that the point of clash is accountability. Allowing the team negative here to say that we have an upper hand to win tonight's debate because the users of social media platforms for coordinating, they use the social media platform for coordinating and ambushing robberies. In the year 2023, there were 13 men who were traveling to join in. On their way to travel, they had an ambush nearly to the Tote East. This was because of social media platform. They had already ambushed them that these people might be arriving on this day and on this time. So we should be arriving on that time and this day. Dear ladies and gentlemen, to summarize, with the team negative, I've come up with the point general of 5, whereby my first speaker talked of interconnectivity and my second speaker talked of freedom of expressions. Then she also talked of limitation on users. My second speaker talked of content moderation challenges, and then she talked of individual responsibility. Dear ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, if we have to understand, the social media platforms are not operating themselves or program themselves alone. It is the users who program them, and then later on they misuse it and they send the hate speeches and misinformation. I remind you, to give you the solutions of before, the government can regulate the social media platform by imposing taxation like what the President of Uganda did. When the government is to impose this taxation, this will help to reduce the high rate of the jobless users. These jobless users are the ones who are misusing our social media platform. Then secondly, this to reduce the rate of illiteracy is by educating the public. And we can use several ways to educate the public, such as the media literacy curriculum and the digital literacy programs, then public awareness campaigns. But what I'm going to base on is public awareness campaigns. This government can organize the public awareness campaigns on the day that they will be advertising the goodness of social media platforms and the way that they should be used. This will help us to reduce the hate speech and the misinformation. After this juncture, allow me to raise the team, the case of the team of negative. And
if some of you have now drawn a conclusion that this side has won, this one has won. So let me ask you, because I'm given only 2 minutes, I don't talk a lot. I just want to ask you a question. Someone from behind should give me an answer for that, and someone in front. So who do you think is the winner for this debate from behind? Someone from, according to what you have seen and what you have heard. One person, you can just raise up your hand. Yes, who do you think?
The opposing side.
The opposing side has won according to him. Thank you. Then here, yes.
Both of them won.
Both of them won. What of you? You say? Proposers?
Yes.
Proposers, yes. And you? So you are trying to balance, right? Yeah, the last one now. Which side? The opposers.
Yeah.
These are the opposers, right? Okay, thank you. I just want to tell you that when it comes to debate, we are working with the time. We are so strict when it comes to time. You don't need to go past or spend less time on stage. When you go past, it's going to be a reduction on your marks, and when you also spend less time, it's going to be a reduction on your marks. So I can tell you that these people, they have won 50-50. They have won what? 50-50. But what may make one side to lose or win, it is only time what? Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, because of time factor, is it a good morning or good afternoon? And a good morning, everyone. I'm James Esbon. So when it comes to a competition, it's not all about how we're going to compete, but it's all about how we're going to learn, because at the end we're going to learn something. I know most of you have learned something, even you who are seated here, even me personally, I've taken something from them. So it's all about what you're going to learn and how you're going to network, how you're going to meet new people. So that's all about the competition. So it's not necessarily who is the winner and who is the loser. At the end, they are all winners. That's based on me. I don't know what you're judging. So no, today's debate, it's a bit a tough one. We all know and we have all seen. So, as the rule says, there has to be a winner and has to be a loser at the end, though both of them are winners. So, I would say the best debater of today's debate is Nyamet Aban from Sacred Heart Secondary School.
Thank you so much.
And as we all know that the rules have been set before the debate has started, so we follow those rules. And in debate, when you're judging someone, it's not all about what you think is right, but put on that person's shoes, then you feel like that person is right, you give that person what that person deserves. So that's all about judgment. It's not all what we feel is right. So some of you are judging because you think you're right, but not the debaters. So finally, I would say, one side got 72.32%, and the other got 67.32. As you can see, the difference are not much. And I will finally say that the proposals emerged to be the winners. Thank you so much.